그럼 뭐해 No way 배그로 시작한 날 향한 마음이 왜 이제
What is good, y'all? This is JV here for an album review, and today we're getting into the new Vixx mini album, Kratos. Really excited about this release. This is actually the third part of the Conception trilogy that they've been doing with like Xalos and Hades, and it all climaxes here to Kratos. And the thing about y'all know, before I get into this, super Vixx bias if y'all don't already know, so take my opinion with a grain of salt if you will, because y'all know how big of a fan I am of Vixx's music. I buy all their CDs, I listen to all their music on a fairly regular basis, really enjoy their releases. And I had to say, Xalos really enjoyed. Hades, I didn't really revisit too many times. I didn't think that was that great. So with Kratos, I had high expectations, of course, because I know it's the end of the trilogy. They have a great track record for releases, but I was hoping that it wasn't too much of a dud like their previous one. Not saying that their previous release wasn't great. It was just it felt like a little stale, like we've been here before. You did feel like we've done this before. But I felt like with this one, they've definitely brought back the things I like about Vixx the most. And what I like about Vixx projects is the fact that it has the highs and the lows within a small period of time within one project. Certain bands will have comebacks that are more happy or comebacks that are more serious in tone, but Vixx will have a title single that will be a certain way, but songs and the other thing that will be on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, yet the project fits together super cohesively. And so that's what I love about Vixx, is that they're the conception kings, you know what I mean? Their concepts are just on point, man. So I came into this one with high expectations. Now, before I get into the tracks, overall thoughts about this album. My favorite one of the trilogy. Highly suggest you check this out. This is a perfect example of why Vixx are as great as they are, and I'm glad that they're finally gaining traction. Now, as a starlight myself, I highly suggest you check this album out. Now, let's get into it for my album reviews. You guys know, got it up on my phone. Go track by track, give you guys my quick thoughts. First track, the closer, the main track. Now, I spoke lightly on this during my reaction to the music video. Go check that out if you haven't thus far. Really love the choreo on it, and I love how unconventional it is. It's very different than their previous releases. It starts out with this super climactic, dramatic intro there, but then it transitions way differently with some electronic leads there in the instrumental, and then during the chorus section kind of switches off and goes to more of an EDM kind of a feel to it. The vocals are strong and triumphant, some of the best vocals I've heard from Vixx yet. And this also breaks what I call the Vixx structure, which is Ravi's verse, I swear, comes in at the same point in so many of the tracks. Like the third half, it's super formulaic a lot of the times. And again, Ravi is responsible for so much of the writing, so this is not a slight against them or a slant, but this is just an observation after listening to a lot of their music, is that the structure of not just their songs, it happens in a lot of K-pop groups, but there's definitely a certain vibe that Vixx has kind of set themselves up for that I've gotten super used to, but they broke that with the closer, and they have actually like mini verses sprinkled, mini rap verses sprinkled in throughout the song. So I thought that was really dope, just switching it up. Of course, Ravi's flow on point, lyrics on point. Again, we always got to give a shout out to Ravi with his writing ability. I feel like it's super underrated how great of a writer Ravi is, and how responsible he is for Vixx's music, man. He plays a huge role in it. Follows up with Desperate, which in my opinion is my favorite song on the mini album. I see a lot of people really like this song. Love how strong that electronic beat that comes in, strong impact points, has a nice groove to it. Not as groovy as the next track, but we'll get into that. But man, Desperate has a super infectious chorus, stuck in my head for sure. Sing it all the time. So in my opinion, probably the best song on the mini album. Still like the closer as the title track, but this could have easily doubled as a title track in and of itself as well. Track 3, Shooting Star. Again, another infectious chorus, some great vocal leads. Ken and N absolutely killing it on the vocals there. Shout out to Hongbin too, playing a more prominent role in the vocals as well. Really enjoyed that. But with Shooting Star, again, it's super groovy, some nice funk guitar touches there, and just love this great middle section of the album, keeping things moving. and then it switches and changes pace with these last two tracks. The next track, Good Night and Good Morning, what we get here is it strips it back. It's a little slower tempo, emphasis more on the vocals on this one, but this one is more sensual and body rolly, that if I could describe it like that, as opposed to the last track, which is also slow, that goes more in a ballad way, but we'll get there. But yeah, man, love the R&B ballads from Vixx. They do it every once in a while, and I really enjoy that they included that on this mini album. And then lastly, we have Romance Is Over, and they go with a more heartfelt, passionate, emotional ballad to end off the mini album, which I really enjoyed, especially like Hyde era. I really enjoyed their ballads, so I'm glad that they're you know keeping up with that. And again, they've grown so much vocally. Ravi's getting better as a rapper. Their choreo is getting tighter. Their concepts are more fleshed out. Vixx is such a talented group, and they're definitely making some headway. And I just like how they've kind of showed all their strong suits on this mini album. And so I can't speak highly enough about this mini album. Just another great release. Of course, I'm gonna cop the physical album. I haven't got it yet. It's coming on Wednesday. I'm filming this on Sunday. This should be up Sunday or Monday. So it should be in soon. Really excited to see what they do in terms of packaging. Their packaging is always on point. But again, recommendation, highly suggest you check this out. If you're a Vixx fan, absolutely, this is one of their best releases to date, in my opinion. If you're a boy group fan, I think it has a nice, mature, fleshed out, well-written tone to it. And if you're just a K-pop fan in general that enjoys, nice, good pop music, I think you're getting some deep stuff here, man. So let me know what your thoughts are on the album. What do you think about Vixx? What do you think about this album? What's your favorite song on it? How do you think this compares to their previous releases? How do you think Jellyfish Entertainment's doing with the, their release schedule in terms of doing like this kind of trilogy thing? I thought it was a really dope idea, and I thought this was a really dope end of that trilogy. The only complaint about the trilogy is kind of with the titling, you're getting kind of like that God kind of feel of it, with Kratos and Hades and Zelos. I just hope that I just wished those themes were fleshed out a little bit more, but I think they did a great job in terms of the visual production on that. So till next time, this is JV here. I love you guys. Bye.